Hi, my name's Wayne Johnson. I'm a constituent of Mississauga Streetsville.
And I'm Sandra Shadi. I'm also a constituent of Mississauga Streetsville.
And together we're calling on Retchi Valdez, our member of parliament, to stand up and to vote for the No More Loopholes Act. As I'm here thinking about Christmas coming up in Canada, a land where we have come to understand the truth and reconciliation, of what it means, what we as settlers did to the first peoples of this land. My heart's broken because I compare that with what's gone on to the indigenous people of Palestine, whether they are of Jewish heritage or Christians or Muslim, the indigenous people of the land who've been there for millennium. I'm so thankful I'm with Sandra. And Sandra, your family's from Nazareth,
Mhm.
but you can't go back there anymore.
No, so in 1948 in the Nakba, my family was displaced from Palestine, and all the state of Israel was created by decisions made in Europe. We had no say in that fact, and many Palestinians were displaced during that time.
And what happened to your family?
So my father was born in Jerusalem. We're originally from Nazareth, but my grandfather used to live in Jerusalem, and I believe we were in the west side, West Jerusalem, which is now considered part of Israel. And so we were, not allowed to stay, and we were, um, you know, displaced. And so my father grew up in Egypt, and then I was born in Kuwait.
So you were displaced, but your family still owns a house. You still have the deed to a house in Nazareth.
Not Nazareth. Actually, the house that we do have is in Jaffa, in Jaffa. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, on
I
the
learn a new
beach.
thing every day.
Yeah.
And but you can't go there.
No, we have no right to return as Palestinians because, like, even though the United Nations, one of their first resolutions about the issue of Palestine was our right of return, but still until today, that right has not been exercised by Palestinians across the world.
And as you talk to stories from your grandma and grandpa, what was life like back in Palestine back in the 40s?
So, according to my grandma, because I never met my grandpa, but according to my grandma, they lived in peace with their neighbors, and their neighbors were both, Muslim. We were a Christian family, and other neighbors were Jewish, and they lived in peace. Everybody practiced their religion freely, and celebrated with each other their different holidays.
And so, what do you think of Palestine today with over 800 kilometers of 30-foot walls separating Palestinians from Israelis, and of Gaza, an area that has a population of all of Manitoba and Saskatchewan being bombed to smithereens? What goes through your mind as a Palestinian?
It's been a very hard 80 years. Like, I'm only 50, but it's been 80 years for my father. And it's a very sad state of affairs. What's happening, the genocide that's happening in Gaza is beyond deplorable. The apartheid state, the way Israel is, it's like an apartheid regime with all those walls, breaking, communities from each other, isolating communities from each other. To go from Bethlehem to Jerusalem, it should be a 15-minute drive. And yet, with all those roads, with roads that are only for Israelis and roads only for Palestinians, it makes that trek and checkpoints everywhere. It's an apartheid state, and it's a very sad state of affairs.
And so, if you were to say something to Canadians, and especially as a Christian to Christian Canadians, what message would you have?
As a Christian, I would say the truth would always set us free. That's what we learn in the Bible. And so the truth is, that what we've done here in Canada is very similar to what has been done to the Palestinians in Palestine. And so I support, that there should be land back, a movement for land back. There should be reconciliation, and that could be done in many different ways. I'm sure all Indigenous people want to live in peace, even with the people that are colonizing them. Because in the end, that's all we want for us and our children. We just want to live in peace, but we also want to be able to live in our own homeland. We don't mind sharing it, but we need to have dignity living in our homeland and not be oppressed and othered and discriminated against and isolated and genocided and killed. What's happening in Gaza is heartbreaking.
Heartbreaking, deplorable, and inhumane. So there it is. Thank you for being with us.